This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Rabbi, so good Erev Shabbos as we prepare for Parshas Shemos. Haba Aleinu L'Tova. So, to get a full appreciation of this year, it's really worthwhile to revisit Wednesday's shir. So, if you have an opportunity, check out the iron furnace, the role of Mitzrayim, according to the Alshich and the Ramchal. And in the context of that shir, we want to add a number of very important points. The Gemara tells us in Masechta Bava Metzia, Reb Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Shimon ben Yochai says, Kivrehen shel oivdei kochavim, the graves of idolaters ein metamen. They do not render tumah. Shenemar ve'atein tzoini tzoin marisi adam atem. You, Jewish people, are man. Atem kruyin adam. You are called man. Ve'ein oivdei kochavim kruyin adam. And idolaters are not called adam. Idolaters are not called man. And the question is, why would that be the case? After all, the very first human being ever created is Adam Harishon. He was called Adam, and everyone alive today are descendants of Adam. So why would only Klal Yisrael be zocheh to the title of Adam? After all, Adam is something that is universal. That should be a universal name. I get Chavivin Yisrael shenikru banim lamakayim. But Chaviv Adam Nivra B'Tselem. Shouldn't all mankind be called Adam? And yet the Gemara says no. The Gemara says Atem Kruyin Adam Ve'in Oivdei Kacham Kruyim Adam. Rabbi said we learned on Wednesday that in a nutshell that the purpose of going down to Mitzrayim was when Adam Harishon sinned, the snake injected in him what? Zuhama, filth. And Mitzrayim is what? Rectified that and got it out and burnt it out. Okay? Mitzrayim is called the Kor HaBarzal, the iron furnace. It burnt out of mankind the Zuhama that was injected into Adam with the Chet of the Eitz Hadas. And the question we would like to address is, so then all of mankind should have had to go down to Mitzrayim. Why only Klal Yisrael? Why only the Jewish people? If Mitzrayim was a tikkun for the Chet of Adam HaRishon and it removed from them the Zuhama, so shouldn't all of mankind go down to Mitzrayim? Okay, with that we start. We know the first man, his name was Adam. Says Ramban, what kind of name is that? Says Ramban that it says about that first man and about all man, he was created b'tzalmenu kidmusenu, in our image like our form. Says Ramban ki yidmeh l'shneim. The Ramban says in Bereshis Parak Aleph Pasuk Chavav that man is compared both to the divine and to earth. He's compared to both of them b'maskonas gufay la'aretz. In the composition of his body, he's compared to the earth, asher lukach mimeno, that he was taken from. V'yidmeh beruach le'elyonim, and his spirit is compared to the divine, she'ena guf, that is not corporeal, v'loy tamas, and cannot die. In other words, man has two parts. His body is compared to the earth. His soul is compared to the heavens. The Ramban says, 3 lines from the end, V'hinei ha'adam doimeh letachtonim ule'elyonim. Man is compared to the low and to the high. How is he compared to the high? How is he compared to the supreme, to the divine? B'ta'ar v'hadar. In his picture, in his majesty. Kedachsiv v'kavod v'hadar ta'atreo. God, you crowned him with honor and majesty. What honor and majesty does man have? I remember when I was a young boy, not too young, I asked Victor Miller, what does it mean, Tselem Elokim? He says, Tselem Elokim is the face of man. I asked him, where does it say this? He said, everybody knows where it says this. So I said, where? So he told me, it's in the Ramban. Where? Right here, this line. Hu magmas panav. This is the image of his face. B'chachma. With wisdom. When you look at the face of man, you see the nobility of the face, the nobility of the facial features. That is the Tselem Elokim. So we have one simple question. Man has some similarities to the divine and some similarities to the earth. So why call him Adam? Adam means ki minhu Adama lukacha. He was taken from the earth. Why look at the negative? If man has two aspects, why look at the negative? Why call him Adam? Why take his lowly feature and name that? And this question is emphasized in the Sefer Mi Mishnasei Shel Ramchal. Sefer Mi Mishnasei Shel Ramchal is written by the son of the Mashgiach of Panovich, Rav Friedlander, the Sefer Tzaddik Levracha. He was someone who dedicated his life to the works of the Ramchal. He published all the green books of the Ramchal, about 10 Sfarim, and his son wrote a Sefer Mi Mishnasei Shel Ramchal. Why, he asks, call Adam after his earthly features? Look at number 4. The Radak also writes that when Hashem created man, He created him from the Elyonim and the Tachtonim, and He called him Adam to say, listen up, even though your soul comes from heaven, your body is created from the Adama, and that's where it's going to return to. And says the Radak, and most people never incline themselves to their high source, only 1 out of 1,000, most people are drawn after their lower element. But even so, why would God stamp this creation that has features of heaven and features of earth as Adam, ki minu Adam alukacha? And we find this name Adam is actually considered a very brilliant description of this creature, because the Medrash in Bereshis Rabbah, Parak Yud Zayin Pasuk Dalet, Ois Dalet, says that when Hashem wanted to create Adam, He consulted with the Malach Yasharis. The Malachim said, Adam zu mativa, who is this guy? What is this? Is he a behema? Is he a chaya? What is it? Hashem says, quiet. Chachmasa meruba mishalchem. He's smarter than you. He brought all the animals in front of the Malachim. He said to them, what's their name? They said, we don't know. He brought them in front of Adam. He said, Adam, what's their name? Oh, this is a shar, this is a chamar, this is a sus, this is a gamal. And what's your name? My name is Adam. Like, whoa, that's big ga'inus, that he knew his name was Adam. This is his great chachma, that he was able to tell them. Malachim didn't know what he is, and this guy, this creature, proved his chachma by saying what? My name is Adam. That demonstrates the greatness of man over the angels, that he was able to come up with the name Adam. Says the Ramchal, look at number 8.
Didn't Kadosh Baruch Hu give him the name?
No, he named himself.
Is that the lashon of the Torah? Vayikra.
God didn't name him.
Vayikra Hashem es Adam?
God created it, but the official name, Adam Chapt. Adam was mechav into his official name.
Wow.
Says Lidas Tavunos, says the Ramchal, look at number 8. Man created Adam. Now we learned, when Hashem created Adam, he was crowned with great abilities. Every act that he did had ramifications throughout the universe. But when he sinned, says Lidas Tavunos, not only did he not elevate himself, Avad ma shehaya biyada, he lost what he had. And now he downgraded himself. V'az chazar liyos Adam shafal. He then descended to be lowly man, despicable man. Like it says in Tehillim, look at number 9, Parak Mem Tes Pasuk Yud Gimel, Nimshal kabehemois nidmu. He's now compared to animals. He's the mashal. He's a parable. If you want to know what is a man now, man is like an animal. By the way, we pointed out on Wednesday from the Sefer Adir B'Amorim, you could look it up, I believe it's page Chavtes, that man today was like the animals in the time of Adam Arishon before the sin. So that means man became downgraded from Adam to Behema.
Adam was a different form at the time?
He was a much more sophisticated, supreme, elevated spiritual being. In other words, if you want to know the downgrade, you want to know what happened, man became limited. He used to be Adam, and now he's more like Behema. What do you mean? We're not like a horse? Yes, we are. We are now like a horse in the time of Adam Rishon before the Chet. You can imagine what kind of chayas the animals were back then. They're like Adam today. So now what we're learning is...
So why did they become downgraded also?
It spoiled all of creation. Now what we're learning is that man became greatly downgraded at the time of the sin. Which even furthers our question. What is the definition? How do we explain the term Adam? And now we have an amazing chidush by Rabbi Menachem Azariah, Mipano, the Rama Mipano, that we featured on Monday. On Monday. Rama Mipano was one of the Italian Mekubalim, and if you want to know more about him, then watch Monday's Shiur. Where was Moshe Rabbeinu when Adam ate from the forbidden fruit? Right? Says the Rama Mipano. In Pirkei Avos it says, Al tehi vaz l'chol Adam, ve'al tehi maflig. Yeah, it says, don't look down on any man, and don't dismiss anything. It sounds like a person might dismiss a thing, but you'll never dismiss an Adam. You might just look down on him, but you'll never dismiss him entirely. Why wouldn't you dismiss an Adam? Says Rama Mipano, va'alav tanan ba'avos al tehi baz l'chol Adam. But lahafli goy efshar. It is impossible to dismiss him entirely, because shahu chelek Adam mekel b'yitzira. Because man was the creation of God's hand. Ki kol ma sheyitzdak boy demus Adam. The more a man preserves the original form of Adam, nitain lidrosh boy edam le'elyon. You never heard such a beautiful chiddush. You ready for this? There are two meanings of Adam. Adam could mean ki minho adama, and Adam could also come from the pasuk in Yeshaya, Parak Yud Daled, pasuk Yud Daled, pasuk Yud Daled. What is it? Edam le'elyon. Edam le'elyon means what? I am compared to God. Edam le'elyon. I'm compared to God.
Is that reflexive? Edama?
I will be compared to God. Adam could mean earth, and Adam could mean I can compare to God. These are two dual meanings of Adam. What are the two dual meanings of Adam? Earth and compare to Hashem. And it's up to you. Which Adam are you going to be?
Whoa.
Which Adam are you going to be? Are you going to be the Adam that's Nimshal Kabehemos, Kiminu Adam Alukacha? Or are you going to be the Adam of Adam El-Elyon? By the way,
What did Rama say of me?
this pasuk is a bad pasuk. This pasuk is talking about the arrogance of man. Man thinks he could fight against God, but we're using it, says Menachem Azariah, we're bringing out from this pasuk of the amazing capabilities that a man could reach. Now he writes in the Asar Ma'amoros, Mamar Im Kol Chai, Chelik Beis, Simen Lamed Gimel, that if you look in Bereshis, when it talks about the name of Vayikach Hashem, I'll quote you the pasuk. Pasuk says like this. Pasuk says in Bereshis, when Hashem created man and He brought all the animals in front of Him, it says like this. Vayikra ha'adam Shemos l'chol habehema. Adam called names to all the animals, u'la'if hashamayim, and the birds, u'l'chol chayas hasada, and all the wild animals. Ule Adam la'matza izar kenegdai. Says Rama Mipano, we could read this pasuk two ways. He called names to all the animals and all the birds. U'l'chol chayas hasada ula Adam. He called names not only to the animals, but he also called name to himself. Uli Adam. What's the trup on the word Uli Adam? Ule Adam. Ule Adam. The trup on Uli Adam is a Zakev Gadol. What's a Zakev Gadol? A line and two dots.
Oh.
A line and two dots. What does that mean? Vav, Yud, Yud. Yud K Vav K. 26. Vav, Yud, Yud. Every Zakev Gadol is 26. Vav, Yud, Yud. What trup is on Uli Adam? The name of Hashem. Saying the real way Adam should be is Edam El Elyon, is be comparable to God. The trup on Uli Adam is Zakev Gadol. The trup is Zakev Gadol.
So he was created as comparable to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yes, that's what it means. Selem.
He so quickly fell apart.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, I need 10 minutes, and then to complete this thing. So that means Adam has two possibilities. He could descend and be Kimino Adam Alukacha. He could ascend and be Adam Elyon, like the trup on the word Uli Adam. By the way, the Shlach HaKadosh writes also the same thing. That Adam, the real Adam, that if a person is Davak Lamala and Nizdamet HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he is called his real name Adam, Milashon Adam Elyon. Now the Shlach HaKadosh says a big secret. A big secret. And that secret is if you take Yud K Vav K, how do you spell Yud? Yud Vav Daled. What's the gematria of Yud?
20.
20. Hey?
5. Or hey, 6.
6.
Oh, 6.
26. Vav? Vav.
12.
38. Hey?
6.
44.
44.
With right plus the word itself 45.
Or it's Adam.
Adam. Adam is Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yud Kei Vav Kei spelled out b'miluai is what? Is the name of Hashem. Is the name of Hashem. What? So that's the amazing chiddush of the Shlach HaKadosh. Shlach HaKadosh writes this in his Hakdama to Toldos Adam Ois Chaf Gimel. Now he says like this. If you look in the Vilna Gaon, in the Sefer Adaras Eliyahu, on the pasuk in Devarim, pasuk says, "Hein heranu Hashem lekeinu es kvoidai v'es gadlai v'es koiloi shamanu mitoich ha'esh hayom hazer ro'inu ki yedaber alekim es ha'adam v'chai." The pasuk says like this: we saw God spoke to man. Ki yedaber alekim es ha'adam v'chai. God spoke to man and he lived. And the very next pasuk is Ki mi kal basar, which flesh could see Ki mi kal basar asher shama alekim chayim medaber mitoich ha'esh ka asher shamanu ata vayechi. Who could hear God and live? So it's like you have a stira. First the pasuk says, we saw God speak to Adam and live. And then the next pasuk says, which basar could listen to God and live? So it says the Vilna Gaon, to answer this contradiction. This is in the Adaras Eliyahu in Parshas Vaschana, Parakeh Pasuk Chaf Aleph, that man has 5 names. What are the 5 names of man? Adam, Ben Adam, Ish, Gever, Enosh. 5 names. What are the 5 names? Adam, Ben Adam, Ish, Gever, Enosh. The highest form is Adam. Adam is considered the highest definition of man. Of all the terms you could refer to man, Adam is the highest definition. Why? We're learning. Yes, on the one hand, it's Ki minhu Adam alukacha. But on the other hand, it's Adam al Elyon. That's the highest possibility. So we're saying like this. Yeah, we could hear God. Ki yedaber lekim es ha'adam v'chai. If we're on the madrega of Adam, then we can listen to God. But kimi kol basar. But if we descend to the lowest level of Adam, which is basar, then we're not going to be able to listen to Ribbon Hashem and live. Okay, so this is what we're learning. So it comes out. That there are 5 possibilities for man. There's Adam, there's Ben Adam, there's Ish, there's Gever, and Enosh. When Hashem created Adam, his goal was that Adam should be Adam el Elyon. But when the Nachash came and he injected him with the Zuhama. So the Das Tavuna says Adam descended. What did he descend to? Now all Adam is Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha. And what aspect is he missing? He's missing the Adam Elyon. He's missing the Tselem Elokim. He's missing that similarity to God. The Derech Hashem writes, if you look at number 16, Derech Hashem writes that the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to give mankind the possibility of regaining that aspect of Adam that they lost. So Hashem gave an open opportunity, an open window. Does anybody remember until when was that window open? Till the Dar Haflaga. For one man to stand up and declare that he is going to be the tree from which man will now ascend and regain the status of Adam as Adam Elyon and not as Kimino Adam Lukacha. And which man took the challenge? Avraham Avinu. Oh, that's why if you look at Masechta Seifrim, Avraham Avinu is given a special title. What title is he given? Ha'adam Hagadol Ba'anakim. The great man. Why is he called the great Adam? Because he is going to be the only Elon that restores the true definition of Adam to Adam Elyon. All the rest of mankind stay down. They're all Adam, Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha. While Avram Avinu and the rest of Klal Yisrael, they are ascending now forever to the level of Adam as Adam Elyon. So yeah, are we all Adam? We're all Adam, but there are two types of Adam. There's Adam of Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha, and there's Adam who has Tselem Elokim. How did we get it back? Avram Avinu began the process of removing the poison. So what we're learning is that even though we didn't see anyone say this clearly, but the poison that the Nachash injected into man limited Adam's capacity. Now all Adam is Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha, and Adam loses out the possibility of Adam Elyon. Now we didn't see anyone say, we're going to see, I found, Baruch Hashem, the Marsha says explicitly that the Zuama of the Nachash removed the Tselem Elokim from Adam. And now, today, only Klal Yisrael has Tselem Elokim and not the Ummah Yisraelim.
How do we get it back?
We got it back. How? Through from Avram Avinu, in Mitzrayim, and by standing on Har Sinai.
Mitzrayim, we were at the Mem Tashari Tumah.
That was how we got out the Tumah. That was Wednesday, I'll tell you. Okay? Okay. So now we understand. Look at number 18. We understand why the Ramchal writes, Hine Iker HaNevraim Hu HaAdam. The main creation is Adam. The Iker HaAdam Knesses Yisrael. The main Adam is Knesset. What do you mean? Aren't we all Adam? Yeah, but we're all Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha. But we're not all Adam Elyon. Mankind was stripped of Adam Elyon through the Nachash. That's why the Ramchal writes in the Adar B'Amorim, when Adam HaRishon was created, he was created only for Klal Yisrael to come out. There was no intention for the Ummah Yisraelim to ever come out. They were not part of the plan. They were not part of the plan. That, says Ramchal, is why, with what we started in the Gemara B'Matzia Kuf Yadalid, Atem Kruyin Adam. We asked, why aren't Goyim called Adam? Why only Klal Yisrael called Adam? Goyim are called Adam as Ki Minhu Adam Lukacha. But as the Adam of Adam HaRishon, of Tselem Elokim, of Adam Elyon, that's only Klal Yisrael. That's only Klal Yisrael. Now, and that is why, who restored us this title? Avraham Avinu. That's why, again, the Masechta Seifrim calls Avraham Ha'adam Hagadol Ba'anakim. And now I'm going to tell you an amazing thing. I've been looking for this for a very long time. First of all, so why does only Klal Yisrael have to go down to Mitzrayim? Why not the rest of the world? Well, first of all, very simple. Because the purpose of going down to Mitzrayim is to rid us of the Zuhama. Well, like the Ramchal wrote in Derech Hashem, only Avraham Avinu took the steps necessary to become the Elon, to be the tree from which would come those who could rid themselves of the Zuhama of the Nachash. The Ummah Yisraelim didn't go down to Mitzrayim because they are eternally removed from the possibility of cleaning themselves from the Zuam of the Nachash. It's only Klal Yisrael who's given that ability. Because the rest of the world, they did not take advantage when the window was open. The window was open until the Dar HaFlaga. Only Avram Avinu stood up to the challenge, and therefore only his descendants have the ability to go down to Mitzrayim. But, the Arizal says a tremendous chiddush, something I was looking for years. You ready for this? With an idea, Adam HaRishon had in him what? All the neshamas of mankind. And when he ate from the Eitz Hadas, when he ate from the Eitz Hadas, now everyone has to rectify his sin. Says Arizal, not true. The neshamas that were in Adam HaRishon were only the neshamas of Klal Yisrael. There were no neshamas of Umas Ha'olam and Adam HaRishon. The Umas Ha'olam were only created out of the tumah of the sin. They weren't even there before. They weren't even part of the plan, like the Ramchal wrote. Atem nikra kriyim Adam. Only Klal Yisrael was the original plan. There was no plan for Umas Ha'olam. Umas Ha'olam were like if we could call it, the weeds that grew from the bad fruit. So now you want to know why only Klal Yisrael had to go down to Mitzrayim. Because the Umas Ha'olam weren't even in Adam when he ate from the... They weren't neshamas that were defiled by the sin. They were created as a result of the disaster of the sin. But they weren't defiled from the sin. So that's why it's our responsibility. We were there in Adam. We're the ones who are nana. And we're the ones who have to fix it.
Why would they have been created as a result of the sin? Why did Kodesh Baruch create them all together?
Why?
An onesh to Bnei Yisrael because of
I don't know.
what Adam did?
I don't know.
What was the justification for it?
I don't know. I got to use I just report the facts line. I don't know. Look at number 20.
It's got to be fair and balanced.
What? Look at number 20. The Arizal writes in Likutei Torah, Tehillim, Parak Lamed Beis.
Make a living of Jews.
Yeah. V'hinei kishabara HaKadosh Baruch Hu es Adam HaRishon, when God created man, Kol haneshamois shenichlu luboy loy hayu ela neshamois Yisrael. The souls that were in Adam were only the souls of Yisrael. V'im lo hayachoyte, if not for the sin, lo hayu ha'umais yoitzim la'olam. There never would have been umais ha'olam. So the Maral asks in Masechet Avodah Zarah on that Beis Amud Aleph that how could we say only Klal Yisrael is called Adam? But don't we call all of mankind Bnei Adam? Says the Maral. Yeah. In the vernacular, everyone is called Adam. But you want to know who's the Adam Ha'amiti? The Adam Ha'gamor? That is only Klal Yisrael. But we can't call Umas Ha'olam Adam in its full sense. And he says, if you want to know why, I explained it elsewhere. So the question is, where? So that he explains in the Sefer Ner Mitzvah, on Chanukah, on page 10, look at number 22. He says basically like this. And that is, mankind that could think, that could speak, is called Adam. But there's another aspect of Adam that man enjoys, and that's the Tselem Elokim. And only Klal Yisrael has the Tselem Elokim and not the Umas Ha'olam. And that is why, in its full definition, only Klal Yisrael could be called Adam, and the Umas Ha'olam cannot be called Adam.
What's the Tzelem Elokim, Rebbe? We look like the Umas Ha'olam. Physically, we look at them, we think, right? We have the Torah that's different, but the Tzelem is the Tzelem.
So says the Maral, that by Klal Yisrael, the Tzelem Eloki is the main dimension of his existence, and everything else is tafel to the Tzelem. The Tzelem is a separate entity, is the predominant force of the human, and the body is a separate entity from the Tzelem, and therefore is subsidiary to the Tzelem. However, by the Umas Ha'olam, the Tzelem Elokim is me'urav in the guf, and therefore the Tzelem Elokim is not its dominant feature. That's the way he explains it. So what we've painted so far is a picture that, even though nobody says it exactly, is that man has two features. Adam, kimino Adam Elukacha, and Edam El Elyon, the Tzelem Elokim. When Adam ate from the Eitz Hadas, part of his capacity of Adam was lost. We would like to think it has something to do with that Zuhama that was injected into him, even though we didn't see anyone who said explicitly it was the Zuhama that the Nachash injected that limited man's ability to function on its level of Adam al Elyon. But, based on everything we saw, Certainly, only Klal Yisrael could be called Adam in its full sense, even to the point where only Klal Yisrael goes down to Mitzrayim and is expunged from the Zuama, and to the point where the Arizal said even the Umas Ha'olam, they never really were even in Adam Arishon in the first place. But I found in the Marsha, I saw this many years ago, but Baruch Hashem, I remembered it in the context of this year. The Marsha in Yevamah says explicitly that it was the Zuama of the Nachash that removed from man the Tselem Elokim, the Edam El Elyon, and when we stood on Har Sinai and the Zuama ceased, Klal Yisrael regained the Tselem Elokim, and the Umas Ha'olam never regained that. Look in number 23, and with this we will conclude this segment. Hu mevuar ki ha'adam nivra b'tselem Elokim. Man was created in the image of God. Nishmasai me'el yoinim, its soul comes from the heavens. Gam gufay mimakam tahar, even his body comes from a whole place. Makam hamizbeach, the place from where the world was founded. He is unique among the beings down here and among the Elyonim. Uchsheba hanachash al Chava, when the Nachash came on Chava, al yedei chet sha'achlu me'etz hadas, kama shekatzav hanachash ete es ha'adam sheyachav yamas ve'es es Chava, he put Zuama. And what did that Zuma do? Sheyiyah gam ha'adam kechol shar hanivram. That Adam will be like the rest of the behemoths. Nimshal kebehemoths nidmu. Liyos davik by b'tzad hatuma. Ad Shabbat Yisrael Har Sinai, where the Zuhama stopped, the Chazru, Liyos, Tselem, Elokim, where we reached the level of Ani Amarti Elokim Atem, where we regained Edam El Elyon. So to me, this was a very ennobling idea, that the word Adam has really two dimensions to it. And the main definition, and the one that we should strive for, is Edam El Elyon, to try to elevate ourselves, that not just Kimino Adam Alukacha, but that to exercise our feature of the Tselem Elokim, which was minimized by the Zuama, the Nachash, and it was expunged in Mitzrayim, and we spoke out for the Ramchal. That's why it's so important to do mitzvahs, Zeichel Etzias Mitzrayim. Every time you focus on leaving Mitzrayim, it expunges more and more of the Zuama, and it elevates you more to be Adam Elyon. I wish everyone Agun Shabbos.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.